YouTube? This is DP and I'm back at it with another Anthem video. Before we get started, I want to wish everybody Happy New Year. I hope you spend your holiday well and I hope you embrace this new year, the new opportunity that you got, because a lot of us did not get to see this year. Now let's get back to the video. So the thing I want to talk about Anthem today is just a small concern that I have about the game. That might not be something that you're looking at or you thought of, but it's there and I really feel like I need to address it because not quite a lot of people are talking about it, but it's really an issue that I have. Now the issue is basically with the loot system. That's it, just the loot, the build, and how the game functions overall. And for those of you who's not aware of it, the way Anthem works, from what we know, a build in Anthem is only customizable by your loot slot. There are 2 weapon slots, 3 gear and 2 offensive, 1 support, and you have 6 component slot. Well, it seems like each component and weapon interesting perk. I think that's what I said, interesting. There we go. Interesting perk is somewhat powerful and unique. I don't really believe there is much depth in this game, like specifically in the build department of Anthem. Just the reason why is because if you think about it first, is that if you want to create a specific build that you want to actually use and play with in Anthem, you're gonna have to rely on the RNG side of the game to do it, because every perk is attached to the loot system. So every perk that you get will change the way your playstyle is, or the way your javelin ability works. So if you want to create a unique build, you're gonna have to farm X gear in order for you to actually have the build that you have in mind that you want to do, instead of doing kind of like a game like Division, where the weapon or Warframe, for instance, they use mods and they use components and things like that, where you can use different type of mod variation to increase your weapon damage, enhance, and like any kind of damage output you can think of. You have to go through the mods outside of leveling up your javelin. your Warframe. You use the mods component to actually build what you feel like is best for you to use for that javelin. Why do I keep saying javelin? For the Warframe, but in Anthem, it's the loot that you get. So if you get a piece of gear that can, let's say, help the storm shoot fire, then you're gonna have to farm for that piece of gear, and anything else that will help you go for a specific like firestorm build kind of thing that you want to do. You're gonna have to farm for all of those things, and if you don't get a drop for it, then you can't have that ideal build that you're looking for. So it's not really guaranteed that you will be able to play that. Everything you will have to rely on the RNG of the game, depending on how friendly it is. If it's like Destiny, man, it's going to be a pain in the face, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. It's just because the way they have, it seems like the way the game is set up, it's going to be kind of like a user-friendly kind of thing, where like you can kind of get things, and especially that now your friend can join you at any point in time and not affecting the way you play the game. It's going to be kind of a lot easy for us to actually get it and get those higher loots and build on that. And also, if you get a loot that's at the lower level, you're able to build a loadout that's actually good for you. With like a storm, you can have a freaking, I don't know, what kind of example can I get? You can like have something unique with your storm, that lower piece of gear that you have, but you have to farm it to the higher level content, like Grandmaster, Master, or Grandmaster 2 or 3, whatever the case might be. But if you can't find it, if they don't have that available to that level, then you see you can't really have that build. You will be forced to drop it and actually farm for different ways to play or have a different build that will accommodate for what you had while leveling up. And you might have to change different build or try to have something that's close to what you usually had back then. But again, it's not guaranteed because of, like I said, the loot system and the way it's designed. It's just for you to strictly play like that. You have to rely on the loot table to get anything you want to get. Your build and all of that. You can watch people do crazy kind of build on YouTube. That might take them like 10 to 20 to 25 to 40 hours just to grinding gear to get those things, and a lot of us don't have that time because some of us are married, some of us have kids, just so many things that come into play when you think about that. Especially for casual player, they will literally have to go with just basic stuff, basic build that they will do. I mean, unless they have time to just go in and maybe occasionally get something good. But let's say you get a good gear that kind of like change the way how your mortar works with the tight Colossus, and you want to get 2 other pieces of gear that can actually help you follow that kind of loadout that you see someone else having. So you will have to save that piece of gear, put it in your vault, and you have to go farm, or maybe equip it. You equip it, it's not going to make much of a difference. You're just going to enhance your ability and your capability a little bit more, but you're going to have to like kind of build on those, be on the lookout for those things. But the only thing I wish that they had was, I feel like they should have like a support tree where we can go in. For instance, you can like further enhance or specialize my build that I have for my javelin. Like firstly, I want to like adapt the play style. Like we can like have different name. If you want to adapt like a cold, like a freezing type of a damaging play style that you want to adapt, you can go ahead and do that. But with the way this loot system is set up and everything is attached to the gear, all the perks, that's what actually affect the javelin. It's going to be very hard for us to do those things unless you have like crazy amount of time on your hand to actually go in and grind everything that the game has to offer, which I doubt a lot of us will do. I mean, for me, I know as a content creator, you're gonna have to play, but I'm gonna have to balance it out with my life and my kids, just so I can have a decent amount of time, because I can't be playing every day, putting content out. So that you can't do that. Already create that situation where you won't be able to do everything you want to do right there, and I might not even be able to do like, let's say, have like crazy kind of Anthem javelin build or unique interceptor build. Probably it's just going to be basic stuff because you don't have the time that it takes for you to wait for this piece of content to drop for you in order for you to complete a build that you were looking for. You might have to go from what you wanted to something that's more closer to what you wanted to get originally. So things like that. And also the problem that I'm looking at here is that all the customization being on the gear has to drop for you to even think about doing anything. So let's say you want to play like a hardcore defensive tank, for instance. You want to play like a very like Hulkbuster type Colossus. Well, bad news for you is that you have to wait until the gear with the resistance drop for you in order for you to complete that build or do it. But if it doesn't drop, you will have to keep grinding and grinding and grinding, doing stronghold, maybe changing level difficulty, going to a higher or lower one, just depending on how tedious the grind might be. You just have to kind of keep doing those things, and hopefully you will get it, and then from there you can boom, get your chances at actually getting what you want to get. It's all depends, man. So like again, most of the stuff here I'm just kind of like speculating and assumption, but with what we've seen, I can easily see things like that happening really easily, because it's possible. It's not impossible for it to happen, since everything is so tied to gear, and then the bosses not having any kind of like specific gear attached to them. So maybe that might make it easy for certain people, but again, for the majority, it's going to be hard to have specific build that you want right away, because you have to wait for a piece of gear to drop, depending on the rarity and how often you can get that piece of gear that you want the loot to drop. So all that plays into account when you want to make a build. You have to think about all of this when you're trying to come up with a crazy build for yourself or a playstyle that you want to adapt. You have to think about all of these things. Or like, okay, well, I have to farm for the gear, I have to do this kind of content, I have to constantly play and hope for it to drop, and once that thing drop, I have to put it on the side, I have to look for the next one, and all of that is going to add up. And for some people that might be frustrating, but we don't see it yet. We don't know how the game is going to play out, because we have seen all the live stream that Mark Derry, IGN, all those people have done, and you've seen how they have the unique build and things like that. So for us, we're like, I would love to do things like that, but just remember they're dev and they're already kind of like, no, they might have a preset build that they use for the beta or whatever the case might be, you know, we don't know, but we'll have to see how it plays out. And then I really hope it's not what I think it is, and I really don't want it to be that way, but we'll wait and see. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end the video right here, and I really do appreciate you guys watching. If you made it to the end, thank you very much again, and happy new year to everybody. I hope you enjoy your new year, and also don't forget to subscribe. I think I already said that. Anyway guys, I will talk to you on the next video, man. If you have any thought, comment, anything, let me know in the comment down below. I always respond to my comment, even though I don't get that much, but hey, it doesn't hurt, so go ahead and do that. Peace out.